Morning, everyone. I don't know about you, but I am so excited to delve into this book even more. What I'm talking about is the four agreements. That's what we've been studying, and we're on the fourth agreement this week. So the last three have been don't take anything personally, right? Be impeccable with your word, and don't make assumptions. And this agreement, the fourth agreement, is actually about taking action on the first three. That's really what it's all about, and which I love because many of you know this year, my word of the year, I chose a word to focus on, and it was action. And that was really what I was talking about when I said action was, yes, action in my business, yes, but really action in these books. Because I've said before, like if you don't read the books, they're not going to do anything for you. But likewise, like there's knowledge, you can have knowledge, but then there's applied knowledge, right? That's really where the power is. So you have to take the action in the books. And I think we really started doing this when we delve in together, like how we did with Think and Grow Rich, and now what we're doing with this book. And I've read it several times. I feel like this is a roadmap to happiness of life. If you can master these four things, I just don't feel like there's a possibility to not be living your best life. Like it's just, right? What do you think, Lace?
Yeah, there's like so much. There's just so much. I'm like, my head's reeling because we were planning for this, and I'm like, there's just so many ways we can go with this. This is like living my quotes for me. It's like doing your best. It's doing the work, and it's huge work for me. Like this is huge. This is huge for me. This is everything that I am. And I kind of say it in my class, to everybody that's doing my dance fitness class. I'm always saying do your version, but I'm like do your best. Do your best at doing this version. Just to let go, and it's basically about just being yourself and being that best version of yourself. But yeah, living this, always doing my best. Like that's what I've always said. And I have a tendency where my thing is with this is I have the tendency to overdo it. You know what I mean? Going because I'm a perfectionist. I'm a Virgo. I think that I am a perfectionist, and I like to do things a certain way, and I really hold myself to a high standards. And so it's a fine line for me, with the self love. Putting that pressure and that expectation on myself, and to do my best. To be my best is good enough. And then when I'm living in that, that's what allows me to incorporate the other four agreements. To stay in my belief system and be impeccable with my word and not make assumptions. And that's why this one's really so important. Just being okay with yourself, and it's about pouring into yourself and doing your best so you can do the other ones, right?
Yeah.
Basically.
It's not about being perfect at all. I think a misconception is about being perfect. Your best looks different every day. And it's actually going to look different hour to hour sometimes because life is always throwing things at us. It's always about how we react to what life throws at us, right? It's like we don't want to react, we want to respond. We want to be able to take the time and really live those four agreements. And it might change, like when you're sick, your best looks different than when you're healthy, right? And when you have emotional traumas come, who know, like we face challenges hour to hour. And I think the difference is still getting and still resetting and retrying. That's like the key to it all.
That's been me this morning. I'll just bring that up. I'll just be transparent and honest, like to do my best to, I'm coming from someone who, like, I'm doing my best to get through anxiety and seizures and different things. So I'm like, I have a goal that I want to share my thoughts and my true self, you know what I mean, on this call. And so this morning, I'm like, I'm excited, and I'm taking that excitement, and I'm turning it into excitement, to remind myself to be in the present moment and to say, hey, you're just going to do your best like you always do, because that's where the magic happens. When you just do your best, that's when it all falls in place, and everything that you've read and everything that you've heard and everything that you've experienced, it just kind of falls into place. And so that's what gets me through. It's like every moment I have to reset sometimes, and sometimes you get, like you said, your best is different. Like you're very stressed or you're not stressed, it's a different level. So you get a little bit anxiety and you feel like, oh, and it's just like talking to yourself and just doing your best in that moment to live in the four agreements, and then just getting yourself reset.
Mhm. I like what you said when you were talking about how you overdo things, because I know that about you. She is a perfectionist, a recovering perfectionist. But she creates amazing things by doing that. But I love in the book right here where it says, regardless of the quality, keep doing your best, no more and no less than your best. If you try too hard to do more than your best, you will spend more energy than is needed. And in the end, your best will not be enough. When you overdo, you deplete your body and go against yourself, and it will take you longer to accomplish your goal. But if you do less than your best, you subject yourself to frustration, self-judgment, guilt, and regret. I think, I mean, well, I've seen a lot of people do the 75 hard challenge now. And I think I've seen people burn out who just went all out and, did their workouts were extreme and then they couldn't finish the competition, right? They couldn't finish the challenge. Or for me, I even struggled with guilt and I had to realize like, yeah, my best today is I'm going to do a 45-minute stretch walk routine because I'm not lifting. I can barely move. I'm either quitting or I'm going to do my best, and my best is going to be the stretch. And that's good enough. And that got me through the challenge, and I had to let go of that expectation I put upon myself, really, of coming out of it with like 6-pack abs and like warrior mentality. And just, it is what it is. And I learned so much on that journey of just every day getting up and doing your best.
I think it's like kind of the same as I say, do your version, right? Doing your best is doing your version, like doing your version of your class, do your version of the system, do your version. I always tell people, do your version of life. You know what I mean? Do your version of the 4 agreements, like, and then your best is good enough. I love that talks about doing your best, about living your life. This, I wanted to read this part because it's like I just dig everything in this book. I'm like, I could just read the whole book to you really the whole time. I'd be like, and talk about it and be like, yeah, and how it goes in life. But doing your best, you're going to live your life intensely. You're going to be productive. You're going to be good to yourself because you will be giving yourself to your family, to your community, and to everything. But it's the action that's what's going to make you feel intensely happy. And when I read this, it just so resonated with me because it's just like, that's how I feel about life. It's just intense. You guys know me, I have a lot of energy. And if doing my best is good enough and it helps me feel that intense happiness and joy, I'm going to go for that. Because when I'm doing my best, I know that I feel good more than I don't. And that's kind of been my mantra, my phrase in life is right now is telling everybody, hey, we're just going to do the things to feel good more than we don't. And then when we don't, we're just going to learn from them. And that's another thing that this brings up is about in the learning. It's all in the learning. It's not about mistakes. It's about learning and getting reset and get back to your best.
Mm-hmm. And that's, I think, and I kind of jokingly said that the universe, whoever has been giving me lessons upon lessons upon lessons lately, right? And I think at the home meeting the other day at the end, when we were having a little teaching, and I just like threw myself on the couch and I said, and I was being dramatic, but this is literally how I have to look at it a little bit. It's like, thank you, universe. Thank you for these lessons. Like I have to just like, these are the lessons. What am I learning? And like next. Like, I don't want to wallow in it anymore. I don't want to live in it. I just want to learn it, improve it, and let's go on. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Take action, right? Just take action.
It does.
And it's like, oh, go ahead. No, you go.
Yeah.
No, you go. No, you go.
I was switching actually to where in the book, it talks a lot about why you do your best, and it's not for reward. It talks about doing it because you want to enjoy doing it. There's no like reward. It made me think of focusing on the mission and not the commission, and it talks a lot about having a job and why people like don't do their best at work is because it's this reward system. It's not, we have all these frustrations. We're bored. We're not doing something because we enjoy it. And I think that brings it all back to being mindful, being present, being in the moment, and realizing what our real mission is. And that is helping people feel better, right? And all of the 7 areas, we're path changers. Yeah. And ultimately that's what we are here. So that made me think of that. What about you?
I think I was just gonna, when I was talking about mistakes and learning, I was bringing up about the surfing because I like that. analogy, 'cause that's been helping me through life. Because I like to keep things simple, you know what I mean? And surfing, and I used to think about it as a balance, like a balance blend, a balance of everything. But now how I look at it is you're balancing to find a flow, kind of like surfing, you know, you're riding the waves. And I remember when I learned how to surf behind the boat or whatever, just like 2 years ago, and I wanted to do it so bad. And it's kind of like life, you know, you just get up there and I was like, bam, and then get up again and like, bam, get up, bam, bam, bam. And I think I did most of the whole day, just did that, but I would not stop because I wanted to be the best at that. I wanted to get up and I wanted to feel what it felt like to ride the waves. You know what I mean? And it's just they call them mistakes. I like to call them lessons, like just lessons, learning experiences. And in surfing we wipe out a lot. So every time that I wiped out, you know, it's just a learning and a lesson. It's like, what am I going to do better next time? Oh, I need to put my foot here, do this. I need to have the balance. I need to have this, and all of that. Those little elements, those are the elements of like the pillars in life, and that's how it applies to life. And you're pouring into yourself, and you're going to be able to find your flow. Because my word of the year is consistency. Because I want to find my flow. I'm going to pour into myself, and I'm going to see how many days in a row I can flow. You know what I mean? And then when I like how many days in a row is it gonna take to make it a habit and make it a part of me, and I just flow in life. And then if I have a day, then it's just that resetting and just knowing that I've done my best every day to get me back on that board. And then you get that intense happiness. You know, I like to say that when you experience the lessons or the emotions of it all, the emotional roller coaster, and they're intense, that just means you're going to get the intense opposite. So you go through these intense emotions, these might call them negative emotions. That's just going to bring you doing your best and pouring into yourself is going to get you to the intense opposite emotion of love and joy and all of that. So
I think the ultimate goal too, like is, and we've been taught this, you know, just don't let your highs get too high and your lows get too low. And that's the whole point of the flow. Woo!
we're rhyming this morning too, so that's another one of our talents.
Um,
Add that to the mailbox dancing.
yeah. You know what? There's a part in here that really resonated with me too. And it says action is about living fully. Inaction is the way that we deny life. Inaction is sitting in front of the television every day for years because you're afraid to be alive and to take the risk of expressing what you are. Expressing what you are is taking action. You may have many great ideas in your head, but wait, what makes the difference is the action. Without action upon an idea, there will be no manifestation, no results, and no reward. And that reminds me of, you know, it was probably really a year and a half ago. Michael got on a call and was super passionate, sharing about turn off the TV. Like, turn off the TV, stop watching other people live their dreams, start living yours. And it was just like this moment of, I turned off the TV and I never turned it back on. And it's actually caused a little bit of problem in my house because that was literally the only thing my husband and I did together at night. Like, that was our thing. And I didn't realize I was living in a different reality. I was living in like a reality TV reality. I was that girl that, like, yeah, Real Housewives and all that stuff. Like, I lived for that. And to turn off that is like basically you can awaken from a dream. Honestly, you start awakening from a dream, and then you start being able to see what's what and what's reality and looking at yourself. And so I'm so grateful for that mentoring moment from Michael, for sure. It changed my life. And I don't know if anyone else ever struggles with that, but we waste so much time in a day, so much. I had no idea until that off button on that TV.
I'm sure I did the same. I'm like, I haven't watched a show in a while. I have to make myself watch a show now to kind of disconnect. But yeah, but yeah, that's what it's all about. And it's about living fully, living in the present moment. And that's what also another thing that I'm working on that's really helpful is staying in the present moment, you know, not living in the past or looking forward to the future. And that's where my power is. That's where the power is right there.
Yeah.
You want to talk about something about rituals?
Well, I did. There's so much I could, and we might maybe talk a little bit more on some
We
other
want
stuff.
to talk about this, and we want to talk about this, but where are we at in time? 8:16.
Yeah, because I want to open it up. So there's a couple of thoughts. One is that it was talking about how basically doing our best for ourselves is like we become the master of our transformation. We can make our mindset, what we do, the actions we take and reactions we take in the world can create hell or heaven here on earth. Honestly, we're in control of our reality, meaning like something could happen to one person and they react something and it's just really how you react. And so it's talking about repetition and how you have to become a master of these things to really become a master of your life. And the action is what's different, but about how we have to respect our body, honor the man or woman that we are, enjoy it, love your body, feed, clean, heal, exercise, do what's right. Like our bodies, it says, are a manifestation of God, manifestation of, you have to like be grateful for it. And it made me think of Lacey because she always will talk about, and I never even got it till I read it. And I'm like, maybe she got it from this book years ago, but she'll just talk about how she was in the shower thanking her body. Like she likes to just, so talk about that.
Yeah, I know I've read this a couple times, but I remember always doing that just in the kind of people that I met for like the last, I don't know, 20 years, I guess, almost 20 years, just been like gratitude, I guess, just living in gratitude and just like, when I felt like nothing else was really working at the time, I was just like, I can do this. I can thank my body. And so, yeah, that's kind of something like the bless the bills thing. It's just something kind of stuck with me. And I actually did it this morning and I didn't even realize that we're putting it together, that is a kind of a ritual thing that I do to, show gratitude. And because I do a lot to my body. And since I've been feeling so much better in my spirit and my mind, I've kind of let my body, I've disconnected from my body a little bit and let it go. And that's where my self-love journey is like taking care of my body. Uh-oh.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the best thing coming out of the book here, and we'll end with this and open it up, is about we're going to be tested. We're going to be tested left and right by, I mean, we know toxic people. We've all been in toxic relationships. We've had, just the reality is we're going to be tested. Everyone tries to sabotage our commitment to these agreements, and everything around us is a setup for us to break them. The problem is all the other agreements are part of a dream of the planet. They're alive and they're strong. So once you start being aware and you start like trying every day to keep your power, and what keep your power means, you don't give your emotion over to a situation or to a person. You are in control of your thoughts, your feelings, and your emotions. So when you are able to keep every bit of power you have, you're succeeding in keeping those agreements. Um, you just realize that if you fall, you get up again. That's really what it's about. And so I think a commitment to say, today I'm going to live the 4 agreements. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go a whole day without breaking any of these. But if you do, that's okay. You get up and do it again. And maybe your agreement is going to be like, I'm going to go 1 hour without breaking any of these agreements and build whatever it is. It's those baby steps to getting to a place where, yeah,
I love that.
you control your power.
Your power, that's my favorite thing. Own your power.
Does anyone have any thoughts or? And I know,
Angela, some thoughts? Angela. Okay.
yeah,
Heck yeah. I just got to say, Lacey, when you said, this is Esther, when you said live your own version of life and the way you said it, that was power. And my word of the year, Trish, is presence.
Mhm.
So you throw the action on top of the presence, and I'm discovering some serious power there. You too are power. And so appreciate this today. I'm complete.
Thank you, Esther. We love your face.
You talked several times about reacting, and I spent most of my life as a reaction champion. And what's helped me is every time I start to react, I realize it's my ego talking, and it makes it much easier to stop it. Don't have to pay attention to the ego, forget the ego. And that's a little tip that's helped me with that.
Thank
Great
you.
tip. Yeah.
It is. There you go. It's
Appreciate it.
hard to take accountability. And I know when I first started doing this work, which by the way, there's a book called Loving What Is. And it is truly, when I read that book, to me, it is how to take the action, how to do this, how to turn it around. I always tell Lacey, it's like the action steps to how to do the 4 agreements. So that book will open you up to really looking at yourself,
Angela
I-
had something to say.
I have to say that as I was listening to both of you today, when you were talking about letting the past go, 2 words came in my mind: live forward. And that's what just came to me. And it made me think about the physical aspect when you were talking about the physical. I used to train a lot for triathlons and such, and there was a running technique that I employed because I needed to find a way to run with less injury and be able to run farther because I was doing endurance events. And the technique's called chi running, and it's about it's all about leaning forward and letting gravity basically pull you effortlessly in your run. And that's kind of what I was thinking today, is leaning forward and letting the future pull you. So that's the gift you 2 gave me today. I appreciate it.
I love that, Jeff. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Angela.
Angela.
So some electricians just showed up at my house and they're making all this noise. So they just started like jackhammering or doing something really loud. So sorry about that if that's coming through. What I love about this chapter about doing your best is, for me, it's also the mindset of not comparing myself to what anybody else is doing. Because I look at Mike Chavez, sitting there, standing there, running and doing his thing, and Kat's out there walking, and and all the people that have done the 75 hard. But for me, it's like it reminds myself, okay, just do my best, which means, like yesterday's a perfect example. Totally slammed morning. I was trying to get out the door at a certain time. But for me, doing my best was doing a 15-minute little workout. And I felt good about that. Yeah, it wasn't a full workout, but it was better than nothing, is the way I looked at it. And for me, that was doing my best yesterday, to get some sense of exercise in, and not comparing myself to Mike, or the people doing the 75 hard, So I think that's I love that chapter. I love this. I love the whole book, but I love the chapter, this particular one, because it puts me in that mindset of, what's my best, and not comparing. Because I know I'm not the only one that compares myself to other people. I'm sure everybody does it. We're constantly comparing ourselves to others, and we have to stop that. And like the book says, just do our best. Right?
It doesn't matter. That's other people's business. I try to stay out of it now.
Right.
I just want to focus on being the best version of me.
Right.
And that might be different, because guess what? You could go do a 75 hard right now. You could go be doing that. It's really what we choose. It's a choice. And if the choice is 10 minutes of that, like that's what I told Lacey right now. Like, I did 75 hard. Now I'm really focusing on building this business, but I dance, but like I committed to a 10-minute YouTube toning exercise every day. That 10 minutes. That's all, and that's for right now in this season of my life, and this month, that's going to be good enough for me. That's my best to commit. It is.
Yeah. I love it.
Anyone else?
Thanks, ladies.
Yeah, that was that's good.
Excellent.
I feel a good energy. Everybody's like intensely in it, and just because we live this stuff, we've been through it, and just keep practicing it, right? Repetition. It's like it's like dance moves. Do the dance. Go do your dance. Hear your beautiful music, right?
I guess something I want to kind of chime in on real quick. Trish, I loved your analogy of not reacting, but kind of like getting like a response. Because I know in my life, I react to things, and I have been to do that. Because I know that some people like to get a rise out of me. And I'm trying at it in response instead of like this reacting, because that's just how I am. I'm a Taurus, so I'm a bullheaded Taurus. But I just love that. And me trying not to compare like my weight loss journey. Yes, I have a problem with staying consistent. It is nothing new for me. But it's all about how you respond and how you get back up. That's the one thing that I've learned throughout reading like Atomic Habits, Think and Grow Rich, now the Four Agreements, You Are a Badass. It's all in how you react or respond to life and just respond to situations.
Exactly. And practice the pause is one thing that we used to say, right? We got to practice the pause. But now I've learned when you say that people try to trigger you and try to get a reaction out of you, it's, and sometimes that's not even their intention. It's just their belief system coming, right? Is taking space. It's okay to take space. It's okay to go remove yourself. It's okay to take a day to decide, a couple days to decide, to figure out and to not react, to really think about what is best for you, because it's your life. And that's truly, I think, being a master of yourself. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, makes me think of How to Win Friends and Influence People, you know.
Everything is everything, like Lacey's touch.
Everything. Yeah.
All the books say the same thing in a different way. It's simple, but the hardest thing in your
Funny.
life.
That's what's cool about it.
Right. Funny you should say that, Lacey, because I'm reading that book right now.
Yeah, that's a good one to read too. It's just like good to have in there they all help with the mindset and just to find your flow. Like that's the best tool. And that's why everything like the 75 hard, the pillars, however you look at it, pouring into yourself, I call it pouring into yourself. Like you guys know that one of the most important things is reading, like reading and writing things down. Right. And that's part of that's part of your power. That's part of our power. And then and then it's the action of all of these tools and learning and it's applying the knowledge. So it just keeps making you think of power quotes and things from different books and like and our like-mindedness, and it gets me excited about life. And that's what it's about having fun. We're meant to live this life and we're meant to feel good more than we don't. Right.
And I think when this is my last, I would keep saying, this is my last thought, but
Oh, and then stop at 8:30. Yeah.
it's almost like a puzzle to figure out a little bit. It's almost, I don't want to say a game, but you can, like Michael's really into gamifying things. You really can, like every situation is like, oh, you can start seeing, oh, wow, the story that person's telling themselves. Like once you start doing it and you're a little bit more awake, you can see where people are taking it personally, where they're making assumptions, where they're doing it. And you're just like, oh, wow. Like, and not judging them, just being aware of like, okay, yeah, I got to take myself out of this because I can't compete with that. I can't change someone's perceptions. I really can't.
And it's letting go of your perception of other people's perception of you.
Yes.
Staying in that space. It's just the awareness. And that's the main thing. I think that's what it ends with, basically, is the awareness. It's the awareness and what we do with it. And it's a blessing. I'm grateful for the awareness. That's what these calls and every one of the elements that you guys have to offer and the books we read and everything, I'm grateful for it. Gratitude, it's power. So,
it's an awesome call. That's an awesome call. You guys did amazing. I just want to say one thing. I find all my stress when I know I'm not doing my best. And I think we know when we're doing our best or not. And our best is like like you guys were sharing. We know what our best is, what we can do. And when we don't do our best, that's when we're stressed. Because for me personally, I just try to take care of myself and the things that I have control over. And I have control over doing my best. And then I give everything else up because everything else is out of my control. As long as I do my best, then I have less stress. So you guys did great. I love the way you guys are going back and forth. You guys were in such amazing flow this morning.
Thank you, Mike. You're amazing.
Oh, that man's been running on a treadmill
for like 30 minutes, dude. Nice.
Like breathing.
Killing.
You're in shape, Mike. Woo!
Doing your best right there.
Yeah.
I'm doing my best. I
love you.
You never know what your best is until you try to do your best.
That's exactly.
And as I've transformed, my body could do things that I have no idea. So my trainer's like, try this. I'm like, I can't do that. She's like, have you tried it? I said, no. She said, well, do your best. And guess what? I can do almost everything she is asking me to do, almost, but I just do my best.
Some repetition.
That's it.
Do all the things. Like, yeah. I love
Yeah.
it.
I love it, man.
Yep.
That's cool. It's
Right.
inspiring. You guys are all inspiring.
We do our best today, huh?
Let's go do our best, friends. Love you guys. Thank you.